David Williams with son Hugo there, big smile, and there's Mandy with his 6-week-old son, Lennon Alessandro. So the two dads at the back with their respective sons. What a lovely moment for young Hugo Williams, who's shortly going to become a big brother. And Mandy, of course, a very proud dad for the very first time. Nigel Bogart also became a dad for a second time this week, welcoming wee Olivia to the Bogart clan. Congratulations to all concerned there. Let's have a look at the way the Newcastle Jets will line up tonight. Two changes after their loss in the F3 derby a fortnight ago. Nick Cowburn and Matt Redenton dropped to the bench. In come Johnny Katrumbis and Ben Kantarovski. Venezuelan marquee Ronnie Vargas is out with a recurring hamstring strain. Dimi Petratos has fired off more shots than anyone in the A-League this season, but his 90 goal-bound efforts have resulted in just 4 goals. One of those, though, a belter on opening weekend here in Wellington in that 2-1 defeat. Two changes to the side that beat Western Sydney Wanderers last time out for Wellington. Roy Krishna is suspended and Michal Kopczynski has failed a late fitness test. Ryan Lowry joins Andrew Durante and Anthony Gollick in defence. Sarpreet Singh returns from suspension. Alex Rufer has come of age this season. Tonight starts for the 20th time this campaign. He would dearly love to add the one thing missing from his stat sheet, and that is a maiden A-League goal. A chance for an A-League debut off the bench for youngster Ben Waine tonight. Mark Redan refused to accept that his side are finals bound when asked about the top 6 this week. Ask any of his players, though, and they'll tell you that, if anything, the coach has them working harder now than at any stage throughout the season. Ernie Merrick was in charge of Wellington, of course, the last time they played finals football 4 seasons ago. He returns to the club he was coach of for 90 games, this time plotting their demise as he looks to keep Newcastle's own finals flame flickering. New Zealand's #1 referee, Matt Conger, is in charge of this one. He refereed at the World Cup last year and tonight takes charge of his 19th A-League game. There is our coin toss kid, Adam Bakey, who has come all the way from Dunedin to flip the coin tonight. A good contingent of Newcastle Jets fans have taken the opportunity to cross the Tasman and support their team tonight. Nigel Bogart, as mentioned, a dad for the second time this week. Tonight he plays A-League game number 239, moving him level with Alex Brosk, 12th equal on the all-time A-League list. David Williams leads the line tonight in the absence of Roy Krishna and does so in a pretty good vein of form. Goals in the last 2 games and half a dozen since the turn of the year. Good crowd in on a beautiful night in Wellington. We're all set for a start. Away we go in Wellington. 37th meeting between these two. The Phoenix have won 12 of the last 15 here at Westpac Stadium. And they know victory tonight would take them to the cusp of finals football. They would be 11 points clear of the Jets with just 4 games to go if they can win this one tonight. Newcastle certainly not drinking at the last chance saloon just yet, but a win tonight would certainly boost their top 6 hopes again and bring them to within 2 points of Adelaide United. Here's Williams. I've got it at 30 seconds. David Williams. No Krishna, no problem, he says. A new roll, another goal. The Phoenix lead inside the first half minute.
Well, 33 seconds into the game, a sweeping move from back to front, and it's that pass from Sarpreet Singh, releases David Williams, and a man in his goal-scoring touch just laps up those chances. Glenn Moss came out, caught a bit of no man's land, and David Williams gives the Wellington Phoenix the absolutely perfect start to the evening.
9th goal of the season for David Williams. Sarpreet Singh's first touch back in the side, having returned from a one-game suspension. Didn't take him very long at all to make an impact. Well, some of the crowd here are still taking their seats. They would have been entering the seating bowl, and perhaps some of them are still picking up a pre-game refreshment or a hot dog, and would have heard the cheer from underneath. They'll come out to find that their side, the Wellington Phoenix, are 1-0 up. 33 seconds. I can't remember a quicker goal from Wellington. Certainly one of the quickest of this A-League season as well. And Fred, if the Newcastle Jets were keen on taking the game to Wellington, well, they've got to do it from behind now. They'll go through Katrumbas, hand up there from Golic, surely handball. And the referee now will call them back, I think, for handball. That was clearly an upraised hand from Anthony Golic.
Yeah, from Ernie Merrick's perspective, that's like just throw the tactics and everything that you've worked on during the week. You know, we've got to be tight at the back. We've got to start well. We've got to do all those things that you say leading into the game. Well, let's tear that one up because, yeah, just poor marking, allowing David Williams to get in behind. And that's the result. You're trailing 1-0. And now you've got everything to do.
They've got a chance to bite right back, though. Jimmy Petrados sizing this one up. Half a dozen white shirts to aim at, including the dangerous Roy O'Donovan there. Delivery's key as usual. Delivery's good. Durante there ahead of Top or Stanley. Petrados is going to get another crack at it. Katrumbas. O'Donovan wins a corner off Golic.
It's a free kick from Petrados. Topo Stanley at the back post, and that's good defending from Andrew Durante. Stuck with his man. Really good body position to clear that.
Still some defending to do for Wellington. Bogard looking to bring Georgievski in. Pretty key stat at the top of the screen there. 2/3 of the time that Wellington have taken the lead this season, they've gone on to win. They have lost just once when going 1-0 ahead. For the Jets, they've conceded first 12 times and have lost 9 of the 11 previously when they've gone 1-0 down. As you say, Fred, it's a almost instant change of tactical approach now for Ernie Merrick.
Yeah, Ernie Merrick will just be, you know, looking at what he can do now to change the complexion of the game, because you know, suddenly you're chasing the game from a mental perspective. That's a real shift in the players' minds. So I think it's for the Jets. There has to be a period where they consolidate. You don't just go hell for leather right now, but just make sure that you keep it at 1-0. You get your defensive side of the game more stable, and then you can push on and try and get back into it.
Let's go sideline to Harry Nata, who I don't even think had made it to the halfway line when that goal went in. Has.
I'll still make him a cup of tea, Piney. I just made it as they scored. So, but what a fantastic start, really was. And I think Ernie Merrick was straight up off his bench, because I think he wasn't too pleased with the way that the ease that Louis Fenton played that ball into Alex Rufer, who released David Williams in the first passage of that play. So fantastic start, clinical finish from David Williams. We know no Krishna tonight, so he's taken that mantle of leading the line, and he started it inside that first minute.
His best ever season in terms of goal output, David Williams, is 12. He scored 12 for the Melbourne Heart in 2013-14. So the way he's going, he must have that in his sights. That was the only time he's reached double figures in terms of A-League goals, so he's one away from doing that for the second time. Here's Katrumbas. Durante with a foot in, but only as far as Georgievski. Now a chance for Jair! All alone on the penalty spot. Jair can't find the target.
Well, this is a sitter. This absolutely has to be in the back of the net. Lovely move. And a lovely ball as well from Georgievski. Jair decides to go inside of the right foot, opens up his body, but just passes it past the posting. You can see the reaction of Roy O'Donovan there. Just throws his hat. He can't believe that that ball's not in the net, and they're 1-1. You know, that is an absolute, at this level, that is a gift.
Just the 2 goals this season for Jair. Looked odds on to add a third, but he'll look back on that one with a degree of disappointment, I would imagine. O'Donovan is Newcastle's leading goal scorer this season with 7. Ronnie Vargas not here tonight with that hamstring strain, has 5. The major issue for the Jets this season has been the accuracy of their shooting. They've actually fired off more shots than anybody else in the A-League, but they have the lowest accuracy of less than 40%. The only side in the league with less than 40% shooting accuracy. Just by contrast, Perth Glory are the best with close to 54%. So you can take all the shots you like, Fred, but they've got to be on target. I'll go again, though, through Petratos.
Well, especially if you're shooting like that in those areas. He did everything right to get into that spot. Boy, that finish was disappointing. Newcastle, I got to say, Newcastle are passing the ball very well in the first 8 minutes here. You know, the Phoenix are sitting back, trying to play on the counter-attack. Newcastle are just building this patient build-up. There's good movement, just players dropping out of the front line and then recycling possession, playing from side to side. So nice football, needs an end product.
Another start tonight for Max Burgess. He's done enough in the last 2 games to retain his place in the starting 11. There were some who thought that maybe Killian Sheridan might come in tonight. He'll have to make his impact from the bench again. Georgievski is very prominent early. As per usual, he loves getting up and down, does Daniel Georgievski. One of the real live wire wing backs in the A-League. Scored an own goal here, of course, in round 1. It was the Phoenix's first goal of the season. But always combative, always dangerous.
Yeah, both fullbacks, Georgievski and Lachlan Jackson, playing very, very high, just leaving Topo Stanley and Nigel Bogard at the back, looking after David Williams. And that didn't work out that well in the first minute, but they've remedied that somewhat. And from an attacking perspective, Newcastle looking good in possession.
Here's Daniel Georgievski again. Fenton looking to slow his progress. Ugarkovic. Georgievski gets it in again. Another goal-bound effort. In fact, that's off a Phoenix defender, and behind us, Katrumbas was lurking. Another corner for Newcastle.
It's Newcastle dominating possession. Georgievski getting well forward, and this is a difficult ball to deal with. Anthony Golick going backwards, concedes the corner.
Petratos takes in heavy traffic. A good punch from Kurto. Singh with some real estate to work, and he's got Burgess and Williams up with him. Loves to run with the ball, Sarpreet Singh. Brings Burgess into play. Seeking a first A-League goal, Max Burgess. Moss went across, always had it covered, I think. Good decisive play from Max Burgess.
And again, we see the mode of play for the Wellington Phoenix, breaking really quickly from a defensive set play. I think that's something that Ernie Merrick wouldn't be very happy about. All his players inside the penalty area, no one on the fringes. So when the ball popped out to that area, it was just the Phoenix with a free run. Sarpreet Singh, 60, 70 metres to set up Max Burgess.
We've gone past the 10-minute mark, which is significant for a statistical reason, and that's Andrew Durante, who has now played 27,000 A-League minutes. I'll come back to that in a sec as Libby Kakachi attacks behind for a corner. So Andrew Durante, of course, who celebrated a testimonial last weekend, has now clocked up 27,000 A-League minutes. That is 450 hours of football. That means, Fred, if you started playing today and played non-stop, you'd have to play until lunchtime on Thursday, the 18th of April, to play for that long. 27,000 A-League minutes for the man they call Jura.
You just worked that out since the last corner, did you, Piney?
Bit of a slip from Singh there as he took the corner. He might have the chance to recycle, though. Everybody's remained forward. Teasing cross, dealt with by the Jets. O'Donovan back helping out defensively. From Mandi. Now it's the Jets with a chance to break. Petratos with Georgievski. Herring up on the outside. He's been so prominent early, Daniel Georgievski. Here's Jair. Twisting and turning and shooting. Philip Curto deciding against the belated dive on that occasion, but Jair looking to make up for the earlier miss.
And this time it's the Jets with the counter-attack. Nice little move to sort of suck in Anthony Golick. Did really well to get back, then he slowed down thinking the play was going to get switched. They went again down the left, and Jair with a teasing ball across. He was looking for Roy O'Donovan on the back post. That is a feature of the Jets play. Roy O'Donovan makes really good runs in and around the penalty area, stays alive in the move. So what we mean by that is if a player's going down the line, you think he's going to cross the ball, and then he checks and delays his cross. Instead of standing still, Roy O'Donovan just keeps on the move. Goes backwards, sideways, and just throws defenders off.
Lovely passing move. Williams, Kakachi, and Singh with the shot was always drifting away from Glenn Moss's left-hand post. But lovely interplay there. Not far from you, Harry, with Kakachi, Singh and Williams all involved.
Oh, it was beautiful, Piney. Down here, fantastic movement, both from Sarpreet Singh and Kakachi. And I think this one was a cross for Louis Fenton. Nice passage of play there on a slippery surface too, I must say. You've seen a couple of players already slip in Westpac Stadium. It is a beautiful night for football, a really mild night here in Wellington. No hint of wind or breeze. It's really still, so it'll be an exciting match tonight.
Clash of heads there between Lowry and Jair.
Ouch. Both players clutching their heads. Jair may have a bit of blood. Just looking at his hand.
Let's have a look at the goal again, Fred. Very, very early in the piece.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball from Sarpreet Singh. Somewhat fortunate in that it takes a deflection and then goes round Lachlan Jackson. Take nothing away from that finish from David Williams. Terrific run from him, and that's a feature of the Phoenix play all season, with the likes of Krishna, Williams, Singh, Burgess. When he's played, everyone's looking to run in behind. Everyone's looking to be a threat.
Roy Krishna's just checking on the Golden Boot standings. He'll know by now that Adam Lafondra scored a goal last night to draw level with 15. Nathan Burns, unfortunately, missing out again with a recurring knee injury tonight, not able to take his place. Jair wanders to the sideline. No doubt he'll be able to make his way back on. Ryan Lowry is also making his way off, just so that they can get back on again. Tell you what, the Wellington Phoenix wouldn't want to lose a defender with the inexperienced bench they have. Just the one defender on there is Gianni Stensonis, who's had a couple of appearances off the bench. No Tom Doyle tonight. He was named in the extended squad, but not past fit enough to play as he returns from an injury as well. So one of the youngest benches in memory for Wellington. Killian Sheridan, very much the old man on there, with Callan Elliott, Ben Wayne and Gianni Stensonis, the three teenage outfielders.
It'd be an interesting conversation, wouldn't it, Piney, on the bench? Three of them talking about Fortnite, the other one talking about Space Invaders.
Georgievski again. How good's he been early? Rufer trying to keep up, and does well, actually, Alex Rufer, to do just that. Georgievski will recycle quickly. There's Kantarovski. Good to see him back in the starting lineup. Jair showing no ill effects of the head knock and charges towards the byline. Cross dealt with by Durante. There's Johnny Katrumbas, who of course was part of the Ollie Roos squad that sealed qualification for the Under-23 Asian Championship in Thailand in January. He, along with Joe Champness, who's on the bench tonight, and Ivan Voitsa, who's not involved, the three Jets players who were part of that Ollie Roos side that played so well in Vietnam. A couple of 6-0 wins and then the 2-2 draw against South Korea. So congratulations to the Ollie Roos. Lowry shepherds that one out, does he? Or is the last touch off Lowry? No, Roy O'Donovan was trying to mount a case that came off Ryan Lowry last.
Saw there the statistic about time in the opposition half, completely dominated by the Jets at the moment. I think a key part of that is the fact that Georgievski on one side, Lachlan, Jackson on the other side are pushing so high, it's forcing the wing-backs, Libby Kakacha and Louis Fenton, to play very, very deep. So, and I think that's certainly a tactic from Ernie Merrick to try and pin them back in their own half. And that means the game's going to be played in the Phoenix half of the pitch. That's exactly what's happening at the moment. Certainly a back five for the Phoenix so far this evening. Although Mark Gruden probably, he won't care about that given the counter-attacking abilities that his side has.
I guess the other part of falling behind so early is you've got basically the whole game to get back into it. Georgievski again into the path of O'Donovan. Curto was out, well aware of what was going on. But gee, I don't think I've seen a a wing-back this A-League season get up and down as often in the first 20 minutes of a game as Daniel Georgievski has tonight. He's been superb up and down the left for the Jets.
Yeah, very, very good. Yes, especially in possession.
Clever interplay between Williams and Burgess. Bit of confusion and miscommunication between Moss and Katrumbas. Katrumbas wasn't sure whether there was a man behind him. Decided to play it safe and popped it behind for a corner.
Lovely ball from Williams. Takes the goalkeeper out of the equation. Katrumbas didn't know what was behind him. So plays it safe. Although they have very little of the possession, Phoenix are dangerous when they get the ball. They have these sweeping moves.
Mandy takes, easily dealt with. They'll come again with Mandy and Burgess looking to combine. Clever from Max Burgess. Ugarkovic got back and got a second bite at it. It's fairly calm defending, I must say, from Johnny Katrumbas there, but it's turned out okay for the Newcastle Jets. That's a foul in the centre circle, and I wonder whether Anthony Gollick might be the first recipient of a yellow card here. Matt Conga certainly going to have a chat.
Anthony Gollick knew he was done for pace with O'Donovan here. Gets on the wrong side of his man, just pulls him over.
First yellow card of the season for Anthony Gollick. Arrived in the transfer window, of course. Quite a handy addition with the likes of Taylor, Doyle and Kopczynski unavailable for various reasons. Stephen Taylor, we're hearing, is still just having trouble with that calf injury. We haven't seen him since the 15th of February. That was the game at Eden Park against Melbourne Victory. It's been troubling him ever since. And again tonight, he just wasn't able to pass the fitness test to the satisfaction of Mark Rudan. So again, he sits out, Stephen Taylor.
I spoke with Stephen Taylor before the game in the tunnel, and he had a very frustrated figure, just itching to get back into the team.
That's a great run by Ryan Lowry. Fenton, Georgievski showing his defensive capability this time.
And Stephen Taylor just saying he's not confident enough to go 100%, and he doesn't want to play if he can't go at 100%. So hopefully we see him back in the side in the next week or so.
First game of an A-League doubleheader to bring you tonight. Following this game, we're off to ANZ Stadium. Western Sydney Wanderers hosting Melbourne City, and then a real mouth-watering clash out west as Perth Glory and Melbourne Victory clash at HBF Park in Perth. Both games for you on Sky Sport, of course, and Fox Sport in Australia. The round is wrapped tomorrow in Gosford when the Mariners host Adelaide United. Good battle there between Georgievski and Fenton. Matt Conga just making sure it didn't escalate. Here's Kakachi. Looked to almost slip at the wrong moment there, but retained possession, Libby Kakachi. Mandy in to help out. That's clever from Mandy to get Wellington out of a tight situation. They might have some more work to do here as Daniel Georgievski inevitably seizes onto one. Jair is off, Herring down the left. Cuts inside Lowry, that's a foul. Possibility of another yellow card there as Matt Conga thinks about it.
crowd making their feelings known to the antics by Jair. Good move from him. Cuts inside. Ryan Lowry, not much in it. And you can see the histrionics not playing out very well right in front of the yellow fever.
Yeah, it's definitely a foul, isn't it? No question about that. Another chance for the Jets to square the ledger. Good angle for Petratos to whip this one in. Once again, there are plenty of teammates for him to aim at. The defenders, Jackson, Topor Stanley, Bogart have all made their way forward. There's Dimi Petratos. Curto a little uncertain with a punch, but then it actually fell reasonably kindly for him. Here's Singh. He's fouled by Petratos as he tried to make progress. Phoenix look to go quickly. Singh trying to thread the needle for Kakachi. We might get a second go at this, Libby Kakachi. Good defending though by Katrumbas. Kakachi is back, well done by Johnny Katrumbas. Jukarkovic. Teasing ball there. Jair was behind Lowry, who had to put it behind for another corner. Well, I think the Jets' response, Harry, to going down so early on has been pretty good, really.
Yeah, they look pretty good. Piney, they've kept the ball well. You know, you talked about the possession stats a few minutes ago, but you know, just lacking that, as Fred alluded to before, that final ball or the ability to get in behind the Phoenix, or actually drag defenders, the likes of Golak or Durante, out of position. We talked about Georgievski up and down that left-hand side, has had a good first half for Ernie Merrick's side. Just looking for something a little bit special to unlock this Phoenix defence.
Referee just organising things in the penalty area. Now Petratos can take. Topor Stanley with a header that was misdirected. Petratos will stop that going behind and loop it back in. Fenton with the diving header away. David Williams seizing upon one there. Can the Phoenix capitalise? Burgess looking for it. Only Singh and Williams forward. Plenty of Jets defenders back. Burgess might go himself. Good save, Moss. Really good save by Glenn Moss.
Well, it was a straight pass in the midfield. Pounced on by Sarpreet Singh. He releases Burgess, and the defence here just backs off, Burgess gets to the edge of the penalty area. This is his second shot of the evening. Just cuts inside onto his right foot and drives that ball. Pretty comfortable save in the end for Glenn Moss. It's at a nice height for him. But the defence certainly probably needs to front up to Max Burgess a little earlier in that play.
Kakachi lets fly from distance. Perhaps a little ambitious from Libby Kakachi. Glenn Moss, of course, pretty familiar to Phoenix fans. 7 seasons across 2 stints here in Wellington. 140 games for the club, most by a goalkeeper. Saved a penalty from Roy Krishna the last time these two met across the Tasman. Also saved one here on opening day, didn't he? Krishna tucked it in on a rebound, but Had a great interview with Glenn Moss actually during the week. He was invited to Andrew Durante's testimonial a week ago, but he feared that if he came across for a couple of drinks, he might end up in chains out in the northern suburbs somewhere and not be available for tonight's game. So he declined the invitation. He did send a lovely message, though, and his daughter Savannah also starred in that message, one of many sent to Andrew Durante for his testimonial last weekend. Burgess busy as always, sets Williams away. Singh is raining up on the right. Can Sarpreet Singh get it back onto his left foot? Very experienced defending from Topor Stanley. Still there though for Fenton. Singh. Dealt with by Katrumbis. And Topor Stanley will whack this one out of harm's way. This one's found its way through to Roy O'Donovan. Looking for an opening. Now Dimi Petratos on that left foot. Always just a bit high and wide from Dimi Petratos.
Terrific work this time from O'Donovan. Got in front of his defender. It looked like the ball was just going to end up being picked up by the Phoenix. But he worked really hard to get in front of his defender, win the ball, laid it back for Petratos. But ended up just adding to his shots tally that you were talking about earlier, Piney.
It was absolutely magnificent last season. Dimi Petratos, player of the season actually for the Jets. 10 goals, 9 assists. A Socceroos call-up. Hasn't quite gone as well for him this season. He tries to free up O'Donovan again. Jackson left that a bit short of Georgievski. He believes he got the ball, and he's making that point, as you can see, to Matt Conga.
Yeah, Georgievski goes in. Fenton takes the ball away. I think Georgievski's saying he didn't touch anything.
I think he might be right.
I think he might be right as well. Fenton might have been anticipating the contact rather than actually feeling it.
Here's Durante into unfamiliar territory. Andrew Durante! Well, he would have loved to have beaten his former teammate Glenn Moss, particularly from that sort of distance. Ambitious, but why not? Almost all of his A-League goals have come from about 4 or 5 yards out. He tried his luck from 23 there.
Yeah, this is nosebleed territory for Andrew Durante. High up the pitch. Sees the goal and just drags it wide of Glenn Moss's post. Again, good defender stepping in to win the ball and then carrying on with the move. Creating that extra man in the middle of the park.
Into the final 10 minutes of the first half. The Jets have added major value to this game. They might be 1-0 down on the scoreboard, but if anything, they've been the more positive in attack. particularly through this man. This has been a good battle, Georgievski and Fenton, hasn't it? They're going at each other again. Daniel Georgievski will never be shy of making his feelings known. And this time, those words are going to earn him a yellow card. I'll tell you what, you never want to take the passion away from Daniel Georgievski. It's part of the way he plays. Wonderful to watch. Just sometimes letting his temper get the better of him, but gee, I've enjoyed watching him for the first 36 minutes tonight.
He gets bundled over again by Louis Fenton, trying to get on the end of that back heel from Dimi Petrados. But in that instance, he leaves the referee no other option. You can't wave your hands around like that, yelling and screaming, without picking up a yellow card. And he's been very, very good for the first 35, 36 minutes. So for me, he just has to keep doing that. He's had the better of Louis Fenton, especially in that first 20 minutes of the game. He was up, he was back, sort of equalised out a little bit, but man, the left side for the Jets has been by far and away the more productive.
Unsurprisingly, Daniel Georgievski has the most yellow cards for the Jets this season. Just a byproduct, I think, of that passionate nature of his. 7 now for him. But a push and shove involving Burgess and Katrumbas this time, and Burgess adjudged to have tugged the shirt of Johnny Katrumbas. That's a great story too, isn't it? The return of Johnny Katrumbas so quickly after that serious health scare. Wonderful to see him back out there. Petrados delivers again. Slip at the back there from Bogard, but he might get another chance. Will he? No, Durante's in the way. He might get another chance now. A lucky rebound. How's the cross from Bogard? It's good. Jackson heads over. Really good cross from Nigel Bogard. Not bad for a centre-back.
Yeah, lovely ball. The Phoenix don't clear the danger here. Bogard just swings that one in. Jackson up high. Has to get up and over Anthony Golick. And gets too much on it and misdirects it over the bar. But again, it's that attack down the left-hand flank for the Jets. It's been very good for them in this first half.
They'll go again down that side through Georgievski. Lowry can't dive in. Daniel Georgievski this way and that! Behind for a corner. He has been front and centre in this game. The Jets number 17. Petrados to take. Once again, Curto in heavy traffic. Mandy just helps it away. Williams doing good work to try and gather. And the Phoenix might get on the end of this one through Mandy. No foul from Topo Stanley, says Matt Conga, who was very close. Mandy just needs to hold his temper here and not foul Ugarkovic.
I thought this was a foul. Mandy had position on him. Ball squirts out. Mandy gets there. Topo Stanley comes across and just pushes, bundles him over. They both go to ground. To me, that's a foul because Mandy's going towards the ball. Topo Stanley's coming across, and you know, with the ball's not in the vicinity. Matt Conga, he sees it differently. Imagine if that had been Georgievski. I think the reaction might have been somewhat different.
Rufer into Burgess. Now Singh. Oh, lovely ball. It was aimed for Fenton. Burgess picked it up, actually. Appeals for handball, but I think that ball was aimed for Louis Fenton, and Burgess got in the way.
It was a good run from Fenton. 100% right, Piney. But this is the area of the park where, you know, the interesting tactical battles being played out. There's a mismatch in numbers. Phoenix are trying to flood that area with Sarpreet Singh dropping in. And also, Dimi Petrados is dropping out of the forward line. He loves to drop in here, pick up the ball, and start to initiate the attacks.
As he does here.
It's the other four players in there, Rufer, Mandy, Kantarovski, or five actually, Katrumbas and Ugarkovic. That's where the arm wrestle for the game is being played.
Yeah, there's some good willing competitors in that list. Ugarkovic, he's been an ever-present for the Jets. Rufer and Mandy have been so impressive as a combination, a new combination this season. Here's the attempted pass from Singh.
You see Fenton there. He's running across the line. It's a good run. He's running along the 18-yard line. And then he's going to angle out in to make sure he doesn't go offside. Just unfortunately for him, as he's seeing the ball coming to him, it just gets picked off by a teammate.
Here's Jackson. Katrumba's trying to get past Kakachi, can't. Bogard. Kantarovski, clever ball through to O'Donovan. The angle is narrow. Golick narrowed it even further. O'Donovan wins a corner. Fifth of the evening for Newcastle. Mandy looking to release Max Burgess. The ball is pretty good. Moss showing his experience, coming out of his area, then retreating back in. Ambitious but almost successful ball from Mandy to Max Burgess. Into the final minute of the first half. Williams looking for Singh. Wants to get it onto that left foot. Calls for handball, and again, Katrumbas can't clear. Now they get it away, Newcastle. Jair unlikely to haul that one in.
Yes, Sarpreet Singh on the edge of the penalty area. Ball bobbling round. Rise up, hits the hand of Lachlan Jackson. Outside the box, so it would have just been a free kick. But I'm sure if that had been referred to the VAR, we probably would have seen such a free kick.
Extra 2 minutes minimum to be added at the end of the first half. The Jets looking to make best use of those extra 120 seconds. Durante's put that one out on purpose as Louis Fenton is having trouble with his right foot by the looks of it. He looks in a fair degree of trouble, actually, Louis Fenton there.
I think he came through and kicked, went to kick the ball and collected the foot of one of the Newcastle Jets players, and it's not like Louis Fenton to stay down, so he must be in some difficulty. See here, he comes in sliding in. Ooh, and Kantarovski's come through, and that one's painful. Ooh, right on the, just above the boot and the ankle. Two players going in opposite directions, so obviously that increases the velocity of the two parts.
No suggestion of a foul by Kantarovski, just two players in for a 50-50 ball. I wonder whether they might try and get Louis Fenton in at half-time and see how he is rather than make a sub now, if in fact that was on their minds. Yeah, this doesn't look very good at all, does it, for Louis Fenton? Assisted to the sideline. They may have a look at that at half-time, but he looks in a fair degree of discomfort to me. He's been so good this season. Durante looks towards the bench and says, no, we don't want to sub just yet. Let's get in at half-time and see how we go. So for the meantime, Matt Conga wants to get things going again. The Phoenix players are over having a drink.
Looking at that, you wouldn't put odds on Louis Fenton making it out after half-time.
So they'll add some more time, or Matt Conga will, for the stoppage we've just had. Phoenix will play on with 10 men. Newcastle might look to just take advantage here of an undermanned Wellington Phoenix defence.
I think Fenton's cooked, so we can see the Phoenix looking to make the substitution now.
And it's Callan Elliott who will get a really, really good round of applause here, the youngster. He was talked about by Mark Rudan earlier in the season as a possible wing back. And he's going to get the chance tonight to show what he's got. So Fenton off, Elliott on. Phoenix with some defending to do, headed over by Katrumbis. Well, there seem to be a lot of white shirts in the penalty area and not too many yellow ones to defend.
I thought he could have let this one drop. He's gone in with the header, the ball bounces down. Because the Phoenix players were, 3 or 4 meters away as the ball was bouncing. Difficult to make that judgment. You can see the time that he's got. Maybe he could have let it come down and then just stabbed at it, but decided to take the header on, and it was always going to be difficult to get power. And eventually the direction wasn't good enough either.
Last action of the first half, as it turns out. David Williams with a goal after 33 seconds has the Phoenix into a 1-0 lead. Louis Fenton has departed. Callan Elliott into the game. The Jets have probably had the better chances, all things considered. But as we go to the break at Westpac Stadium, it's the Phoenix 1-0 ahead of the Newcastle Jets.
Welcome back to Westpac Stadium, where it is the Wellington Phoenix going into the sheds at halftime. 1-0 up, courtesy of a David Williams goal. Raf, it's been a very exciting game, hasn't it? The Jets haven't sat back, they've come back and are playing very well.
Yeah, look, to be honest, H, I think apart from the opening minute, I think the Jets have really dominated this match. And even in the opening minute, I think it was just a transitional play where they looked to attack, and a fantastic bit of counter-attacking football from the Phoenix. They could have been, you know, cut short early on, but they didn't do that, and they paid the price with some great finishing by David Williams, and then 33 seconds in to get a goal. Amazing start for the Phoenix.
Great start for the Phoenix. Let's have a look at all the first half highlights. And it was, Raf, I'm pretty sure it's going to be David Williams who we're going to have a look at. I mean, this was a great passage of play because it came from Louis Fenton into Alex Rufer, up to Sarpreet Singh, and a fantastic finish from Williams.
Yeah, look, obviously this started from Newcastle Jets attacking, counter play, Fenton, a lovely ball around the corner, Alex Rufer to Singh plays David Williams 1-2 and then in behind. Great running by David Williams, but yeah, fantastic opening goal.
And then the Newcastle Jets sort of came back into this. This is straight after that goal, basically. Jair. I mean, that should have hit the back of the net, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's got to hit the target. Let's force a save from the goalkeeper. Look, let's be honest, it's a fantastic bit of play. Jujewski does all the hard work, picks him out, and he can't even find the goal.
And the Phoenix did look quite solid moving forward. I mean, there's a number of occasions they got Kakachi on this left-hand side involved, and Max Burgess as well.
Look, I think the Phoenix, though they've counted well, I think they've been very narrow. They've not had position long enough to allow the likes of Fenton and Kakachi to push on. And then if they're able to do that, they're able to get a second phase, you know? And unfortunately with the Phoenix, they haven't had that second phase position going forward.
You think that's because the pressure from Georgievski and Jackson on the other side really pushing the likes of Kakachi and Fenton back?
Yeah. The key moments in this game for me are transition. When I talk about transition, H, we're talking about the times where your team's in position, you lose the ball. What do you do then? The Phoenix have not had a lot of high pressure. If they did apply high pressure, it enables Georgievski and Jackson at left and right back to sit back. It means you get a chance at going forward again.
Are you surprised the way the Phoenix have sat back after that first minute? You know, they've virtually sat back and let the Jets come at them. Yeah,
they have sat back, but that's been also enforced by the Newcastle Jets because they pushed Georgievski and Jackson on so high, meaning, like Fred said during the half, the Phoenix are playing with a back five at times, and when they do win position back, they get themselves in position, it's that transition, then they have to push Lip Kakachi and Louis Fenton up high, and that falls on Ryan Lowry and Golich on the other side.
I'll tell you what, Raf, every time I see him play, he excites me, he really does. Max Burgess is again having a solid performance, 45 minutes of energy. His great touch, his link play with the likes of David Williams and Sarpreet Singh has been exceptional at times. Yeah,
look, he's been busy, and that's what you like to see because he's good on the ball, he makes things happen, he's looking at create opportunities for himself as well as his teammates, and you can see here, lovely cuts inside, lovely shot on the right foot, good save by Glenn Moss at that stage. But what I'd love to see by a bit more from Max Burgess, I think out of position. I think he's got so much energy to give. I think they can apply better pressure as a front three and make it really hard for the Newcastle Jets to get out.
Well, Newcastle, we talked about Raf, have really come back at the Phoenix, have had a lot of possession, a lot of ball. No more so than Daniel Georgievski down that left-hand side. I mean, he's been exceptional, hasn't he? Outstanding.
Outstanding on the ball, outstanding with his passing, and outstanding with his movement. Obviously, his energy is very, very good. He's able to get high early, but that's also enabled because he's playing against Louis Fenton, a right winger that's been forced to play right back. Georgievski, as they control position, is able to get into high positions, and here he's very dangerous. Here he picks out Jair with a great chance. Jair, we spoke about, should have done a lot better there. But this man, for me, key man for the first half, on the ball, dynamic. Just his emotion maybe let him down there. Is he going to last 90 minutes?
Yeah, the guys talked about the passion and enthusiasm shown by Daniel Georgievski. He is one of the leading, I think, A-League players in that role up and down the left-hand side. He's been sensational tonight for Ernie Merrick's side. Look, what does Ernie do? Does he change things in the second half? I mean, they're chasing the game now, aren't they?
Look, they are chasing, Harry, but I think they're dominating the match. I think they're looking very, very good and comfortable in position. And if they continue to have Georgievski and Jackson, a bit more from Jackson from that right-hand side, but if they're able to get, you know, keep that possession-based game, those attacking players going forward, they're getting chances. And, you know, if you put enough pressure, things will open up for you.
Well, it's all for the Newcastle Jets to do in the second half. We'll be back right after this break with all the second half action. Will the Phoenix hang on or actually score another goal? Ref waits to be seen, but it's the Newcastle Jets with it all to do at Westpac Stadium.
Oh, he's got a smile on his face. That was some game, Andy.
Yeah, wow. I think we said if anyone was going to do it, beat Auckland, it was going to be us.
Wide open is Stevens. Net is the match winner, and it's Team Wellington who will go to the final.
Team Wellington's a club that wants to be challenging for the honours. You know, we'll be giving everything to get our hands back on that trophy. I guess compared to last season, Team Wellington have had a bit of an up and down season, but look, the reality is they've beaten us twice.
Eastern Suburbs against Team Wellington gets upended. Dangerous move is Watson. Watson will shoot and Watson will score. And it is Team Wellington that have won this one.
You have beaten Eastern Suburbs twice. Is that something that will give you confidence going into the final?
Nah, definitely going to give us confidence. Getting the better side of them comprehensively, I think. Both league games, you know, we're the mature, more seasoned, more experienced side.
Sucks to lose, so I want to win just like everyone else. So lifting that trophy at the end would be, you know, a great accomplishment and a way to top off the year.
Go that way.
It didn't take very long for Wellington Phoenix to open their account tonight. David Williams, we've clocked it at 33 seconds, scurrying on to that through ball from Sarpreet Singh and finishing with some aplomb. His 9th goal of the season, the 38th of his A-League career. He is enjoying life in Wellington, as are the fans here tonight. A good crowd in attendance, all shapes and sizes and ages. Stephen Taylor, a popular figure as always with the fans. Demi Petratos looks the most likely to help Newcastle square the ledger. Glenn Moss has been busy when called upon. There's Callan Elliott now. Big 45 minutes coming up for the youngster. And gee, he is young, isn't he? Just a second A-League appearance for the Nelson native. And a really good opportunity for him to stake a claim. Louis Fenton, we don't know the extent of his injury just yet. We'll try and bring news of that for you, but it didn't look good for Louis Fenton. But Callan Elliott with a chance to play right wing back. Here's the reason that Callan Elliott is out there, Fred.
Yeah, two players fully committed to getting the ball, and Louis Fenton comes off well second best, collected just above the boot there, and I mean it wouldn't be surprising if something's broken or severely bruised on the top of his ankle there, because as you say, both players going full noise for that ball.
A bit of a furrowed brow there for Mark Rudan. His team ahead at half-time, but plenty of work to do. Second half underway in Wellington. The Phoenix now attacking the southern end of Westpac Stadium, where their yellow fever faithful are resident. Would it be drawing too long a bow to say the Newcastle Jets have 45 minutes to save their season, Fred, or are we not quite in the last chance saloon just yet?
I think they are. Absolutely, I think they are. The gap, you know, if Adelaide can get up over the Central Coast Mariners, then I think the gap's just too much. You know, because you know, you're looking at the table now. It's probably going to be 37, 38 points to make the top six. And that means the Newcastle Jets would have to get 10 points from 12 games, which...
Well, 10 points from 12 available.
Yeah. Sorry, 12 points available, absolutely. So, you know, what's going to change to suddenly turn their season around? You know, you're not going to bring in new players, so, you know, so you look at that and go, and the quality of some of the teams that they're going to come up against makes that a very tall order.
They've got the Wanderers, Perth Glory away, which is tough, Brisbane away, and then Sydney at home. So it's not the easiest of run-ins either for Newcastle. However, a win tonight, if they manage to turn this around, would take them to 29 points. They would just be 2 behind Adelaide, who would have that game in hand against the Mariners tomorrow. So they'll believe. They certainly create enough in the first half to suggest that there are goals out there. Wellington have only kept 4 clean sheets in 22 games this season. And that man seemed to be at the heart of a lot of the good stuff that happened down the Jets' left-hand side. He's involved again early in the second half. Looking for the nutmeg on Burgess. Bit of a pull on the shirt there from Libby Kakachi. Going to line up another set-piece situation for the Jets. As Katrumbas this time, who's been good up and down the right. Not used as often as Georgievski on the left, but when he has gone deep into the attacking 30s, caused problems. Brought down illegally by Kakachi. Once again, it's Demi Petratos addressing this dead ball situation. In front of their small knot of supporters. Here's Petratos. Calls for a goal kick at a corner as Jackson was the last man to attack the ball. It's off a Phoenix defender last, says the referee, so the Phoenix will have to negotiate a corner. Once again, it's Petratos to take. His delivery is good. Dealt with by Elliott there at the near post. That might have been his first touch of the football. Here's Ugarkovic now. He was looking to set free one of his teammates. Let's go sideline to Harry Nata, who has an update for us on Louis Fenton's injury. What do you got, Harry?
Yeah, Piney, well, word out of the medical staff from the Phoenix is that Louis Fenton has a suspected broken foot. So he certainly has been in the wars over the last couple of years. He's obviously had problems with his shoulder. But now, obviously, bad news for Louis Fenton, potentially. Obviously, they'll still need to get scans and x-rays and that carried out after the game. But, yeah, he's had a fantastic season, hasn't he? As he alluded to early in the first half, Piney. So another opportunity for someone else to fill that space. That we know that the depth has been tested. No Kopczynski, no Doyle, no Taylor as well at the back.
That is a real shame for Louis Fenton. His 106th game for the club tonight. He's played just about every game this season. He's been so impressive. Here's Ugarkovic now. Durante puts it behind, safely free. Jets corner. Yeah, Louis Fenton, 106 games. That's the same number as played by both Daniel and Paul Eiffel. So he's up in rarefied air there, Louis Fenton. Let's hope that he isn't as badly injured as first suspected. Jets on attack again. Pretty vital flick there from Anthony Golick. Petratos will haul it in and recycle. Jets have come out firing in the second half as they look for an equaliser. All hands on deck for Wellington. Even David Williams is back defending. Now he's set Max Burgess away. Chance perhaps for a fast break for Wellington. Burgess has Singh up with him. Williams there too. Singh. Good block by Katrumbas. Clever little ball from Singh to Burgess. Brings Callan Elliott in with a first chance to show what he can do in the attacking third. Rufer, urged to shoot by the crowd, instead looks for Kakachi on the far side. Jackson deals with that header back across goal.
Yeah, real intent on the part of the Newcastle Jets in this first part of the second half. Terrible news for Louis Fenton. Obviously, if it is broken, then his season is done. And he will be added to that injury list that's starting to grow for the Phoenix. It really is starting to test the depth in the squad. I think for me, if I'm Ernie Merrick, looks like he's gone to a back three here, or certainly pushing Georgieski very, very high. But down the Newcastle Jets left, down this left-hand flank is potentially where they're going to get the most mileage. Now you're up against Ryan Lowry and Callan Elliott, so two very inexperienced players. And so I think Georgievski will be the main focus.
Well, Nigel Bogart can't believe that he hasn't equalised there.
This is an unbelievable save. Unbelievable save from Curto. Just a quick reaction save. Didn't get the power. Would have been an own goal of Anthony Golick. So, again, Curto wouldn't have been expecting it. And Nigel Bogart can't redirect it with his shin into the goal. But again, Philip Curto hasn't had a whole lot to do in the game. But when he's called on, as we've seen all season, he is ready to come into the action.
Yeah, friendly fire on that occasion, wasn't it, from Anthony Gollick? And then the follow-up from Bogard, he couldn't react quickly enough to divert the rebound into the back of the net. But yeah, Philip Curto again showing the value that he has displayed so often this season.
Bit of movement on the sideline here. Newcastle Jets fellows. Ernie Merrick is about to make his first change. Joey Champness is just getting the final instructions from assistant Clayton Zane on the sideline here before he takes the pitch.
Thanks, Harry. Another attacking player, of course, Champness. Going to see that change now, and it's going to be Daniel Georgievski who makes way. Well, that's interesting. A few words for the opposition bench for Daniel Georgievski and from him as well. Gets a handshake from Ernie Merrick as he takes a seat. Keep an eye on Joey Champness and the role he takes up. Burgess looking to free up Kakachi. Moss was aware. Good penalty area management there from Glenn Moss. Well, Max Burgess has got that in his locker, hasn't he? The through pass, the threaded ball from midfield. So yellow card for Max Burgess, and amongst all of that, there's the incident, Fred.
Yeah, Max Burgess going in late. It's Joey Champness. Welcome to the game. Just the fluidity in the play for the Jets has gone off the boil. They started out the second half with all bit of vim and verve, but the game's just sort of settled into a pattern, and the Phoenix at the moment look very comfortable. I'm wondering whether that change for Georgievski, because he has been the most influential player so far in the match, well, other than probably David Williams with the goal, but for all what he did in the first 45 minutes was very, very good from Georgievski. Either maybe he ran out of legs or they're worried about his yellow card. And so you're looking at Joey Champness to get forward and put Callan Elliott under pressure. And now a yellow card for Nigel Bogard.
Yeah, it's all happening. Singh, first of all, danced down the left-hand touch and was fouled. They took it quickly. Nigel Bogard picks up a yellow card for the secondary challenge. So here's the quickly taken free kick. They're just checking the offside there, whether David Williams was offside upon receipt of that ball and whether the foul was inside or outside the penalty area. Certainly looked outside at first look. The offside is what they're checking first.
Oh, we thought the one a couple of weeks ago was outside the box, and it ended up being reversed and upgraded from a foul, a free kick, into a penalty. So a couple of nervous moments here for the Newcastle Jets.
Well, is this going to be a bit of deja vu, Fred?
I think so. I think the first touch may have been right on the corner of the box there, and so that's what Matt Conga's coming over to have a look at. And given that the propensity for these to be overturned there, I think that's going to be a penalty.
I think you might be right, Fred. I think he's inside the area, isn't he? Nigel Bogard when he commits the foul on David Williams. Let's see. It is a penalty. Well, first of all, they had to check the offside. They were happy that he was onside, David Williams, when he received the ball. Then they checked where the foul took place, and it did seem quite clear on that second look that the clip of the ankles from Bogard happened inside the area. David Williams, the man fouled, is going to be the man who attempts to convert from the spot. Moss has saved the last 2 penalties fired at him by Wellington Phoenix players. Roy Krishna both times. How will David Williams fare with Roy Krishna watching on from the stands? Double figures for David Williams. Double the lead for the Wellington Phoenix. Double the trouble for the Newcastle Jets. Moss went the right way, might have even got a hand on it, but David Williams puts the Phoenix 2-0 ahead.
Good penalty. Here's the incident again. Bogard comes across, just clips the ankles of Williams, and then he drives this one. Then Moss gets some fingers onto it. Can't redirect it round the post. And as far as the playoff hopes for the Newcastle Jets, I think they just died with that ball hitting the back of the net. And for the Phoenix, for me, they can start celebrating being in the playoff mix for the first time in a number of seasons.
You have to say, Fred, I think the VAR actually worked on that occasion. I think it was onside. I think the foul was inside the box. I know you're shaking your head at me as I say these words, but hang on, hold that thought, because here's Joey Champness, but it's behind for a corner. If the foul happens inside the box, then it's a penalty, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. For me, I mean, yeah, the frustration for me is, like, if you want to play black and white, then yeah, you have VAR. If you're happy with the nuances, the referee's in a really good position, sees the foul, then I'm happy with that as a footballer. You know, I grew up with the game like that, and I don't mind it like that.
Well, Newcastle are back in it. It's a goal from Roy O'Donovan. So no sooner had the Phoenix gone 2-0 ahead, Roy O'Donovan reduces that deficit back to 1 from close range. He's popped it past Curto, his 8th goal of the season. There's hope for the Jets. Their fans can sense that this may not be all over for them. Pretty ordinary defending in the 6-yard box from Wellington, it has to be said. Roy O'Donovan, a fox in the box. 2-1 in Wellington.
Yeah, good header from Topo Stanley. And the good thing, we talked about Roy O'Donovan in the first half. He just gets himself in difficult positions. He's in front of Kakache as that ball comes back across, and all he has to do is just make some sort of contact with the ball, and it's in the back of the net. And that's a real poacher's goal. But again, good work from Topo Stanley at the back post to get the ball back across the goal. And Roy O'Donovan won't make any mistake from that position.
David Williams' hat-trick hunting. That's wide from David Williams. Nick Waldron, who is manning the VAR tonight, incidentally, will take the whistle tomorrow in the ISPS Hunter Premiership final. We've got that for you live on Sky. Eastern Suburbs against Team Wellington from Albany Stadium, 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. Mouth-watering game and prospect. Really looking forward to that one. Everybody back for Newcastle defending this latest corner from Mandy. Moss in heavy traffic. Off the line from Lowry. Burgess can't convert. Elliott had a look at it as well. Sarpreet Singh so clever. Here is Singh. Moss goes down, loses it. Bogart hacks it away.
And this time it's the Jets who are scrambling in defence. Mandy with the delivery. Great leap from Lowry. And then there's a bit of pinball in the box. The Jets can't scramble it clear. Nice turn here from Sarpreet Singh. And Moss gets down well to just parry that ball, but danger not away.
Oh, David Williams! It's a hat-trick for David Williams, and that is the best of the lot by some distance. The crowd, to a man, to a woman, to a child, are on their feet, and why not? Top bins from David Williams. A hat-trick tonight for the man they call Willow. There's a heart signal to wife Madeline, no doubt. Look at him hit that, Fred.
Unbelievable strike, this one from David Williams. We've seen him bend them into this corner a couple of times already this season from closer to the box. This time he just picks the ball up, spins, and then he hits that with some venom. He knows what he wants to do here, and he connects perfectly. Look at that. Just inside the far post. That is a terrific strike.
Great work, Wiggy, on camera 7. Has he got that? Top bins from David Williams. What a goal that is. Just the third hat-trick in Wellington Phoenix history. He joins Nathan Burns and Blake Powell as hat-trick scorers for Wellington. Breathtaking from David Williams. What a season he is having. That's 11 goals now.
Boy, we talked about not having Roy Krishna at the start of the game. Well, you need someone to fill the void from Krishna, and David Williams really has filled the vacuum that Krishna left for this match. Sensational strike that really has lit up Westpac Stadium. The crowd are just buzzing away.
Well, David Williams said during the week that he was still negotiating with the club over a contract extension. He's only contracted until the end of this season. He might have added a couple of zeros on with tonight's performance, Fred.
He's been the perfect foil for Roy Krishna, as you just said. You know, with Krishna gone, you need him to step into that gap, and he's done that admirably this evening. So if the club can keep those two together, then you know that you're going to at least have a supply of goals.
Well, never before have the Phoenix had two players in double figures in a single season. Here come the Jets again. There's calls for handball. They seem pretty confident as well. Another call for handball there. That was the first one in the area that the Jets were interested in. There's Petranos. This game's all action. Don't take your eyes off it. Curto with his eyes firmly on that one, punching away. Phoenix calming things down now, just holding on to the ball. Mandy, Rufer, Burgess, Elliott all involved. Little flick from Williams. Can Burgess get on the end of it? He did. He's snuck in behind Joey Champness, but couldn't get the right contact. Well, the Jets have to go forward in numbers now. into the final quarter of the game. Katrumbis. Looks like they might be going to the bench again. The Jets, Harry, not far from you.
Yeah, that's right, Piney. Matt Redenton will come onto the pitch in a few more seconds, I think, just getting instructions from Zane. Number 4, Nigel Bogard. So Looney Merrick looking to put on Matt Redenton potentially to push things along out of midfield.
Donovan trying to cushion a header into the path of Jair. Couldn't quite get the right purchase on it. For the Wellington Phoenix, they still have a couple of subs up their sleeve. Well, Mark Rudan does. Killian Sheridan seems the most likely. Ben Wayne would be on A-League debut if he gets on. Gianni Stenson is the other outfield player available. Just a couple of A-League appearances for him.
Ernie Merrick's changed his mind, fellas, because Redenton's put the bib back on. Nicholas Calburn now could be the one coming on for Newcastle Jets. And Kantarowski is the one that could come off. In fact, it is Kantarowski.
All right, so we're going to see Calburn for Kantarowski instead of Redenton for Bogard. That's interesting, because we saw Matthew Redenton there getting all the instructions and looking for all the world as though he was going to come on. He's been told to sit back down, and here comes that change now with Ben Kantarowski to make way for Nick Calburn for the last 20 minutes. Jets come again. Petrados tries to feed Jair. Lowry gets it away well. Now, was that a little elbow in the face there from Calburn? His first action, and his first involvement leads to a yellow card. And he's also given Topor Stanley one for arguing. So this is all turning a bit pear-shaped for Newcastle here. Nick Calburn seemed to catch Sarpreet Singh with an elbow as the two came together.
Frustration coming out. Is Jair. That was the first coming together, and this was the second. Not sure we'll see it in shot because it might have. There we go. Wow, Calburn there just leaving his arm, pushing back on Sarpreet Singh.
Certainly not an elbow, it's an open hand,
open palm in Sarpreet Singh's face. Topor Stanley talked himself into the book as well. It is just a level of the frustration that the Jets are feeling, given their season slipping away with what looks like consecutive losses.
Here's Mandy. We know he can hit from distance. He's not going to get the opportunity. Curto all the way out and then watches it safely into his own hands. Yeah, the Jets were on a good run before that loss to the Central Coast Mariners. They'd won 3 and drawn 2 of their previous 5, including putting 5 past the Western Sydney Wanderers away from home. Here's Kakachi. He's keen to free up Singh, and he wants the ball back. Singh's only got eyes for goal! Sarpreet Singh makes it 4, and the Phoenix are out of sight.
Well, this is a lovely measured goal by Sarpreet Singh, given way too much time and space on the edge of the penalty area, and he just takes his time, absolutely picks his spot, and places this ball wide of Glenn Moss. You see the time he's got there. He just puts it inside the far post, cuts inside Topor Stanley, readjusts his body, and then just bends that one around Glenn Moss. It's that little adjustment there that just sets him up. It's a class finish.
What about the run of Liberato Kakachi, fellas, leading up to that goal. Bursting out of defence, setting up Sarpreet Singh.
5th goal of the season for Sarpreet Singh, the 9th of his A-League career. Well, he might not look it, but I'm sure Mark Rudan is extremely happy inside. That change has now been made, I believe, or another change. Have we got Redenton on for Bogard now? In fact, it's Kane Shepherd who's gone on for Nigel Bogard. So Kane Shepherd and 14 into the action now as Ernie Merrick rolls the dice for the last time. There is Shepherd, bottom of picture there. Fairly downcast Newcastle Jets bench there. Ben Kantarovski's face pretty much sums it up. O'Donovan urging his team to carry on. Shepherd's just arrived. Phoenix skipper Andrew Durante doesn't want his team to relax. Even at 4-1 up, the Wellington Phoenix substitutes have been warming up for about the last 10 or 15 minutes. I'm sure someone like Killian Sheridan would love to get on. Burgess. He looked up and saw Singh and Kakachi on the far side. Instead, tried to feed David Williams. Here come the Jets again, looking to reduce that deficit. Katrumbas has been good tonight, aiming for Petranos and Shepherd. Dealt with by Rufer. Game really starting to open up now, unsurprisingly, with the Jets chasing the game. Some big spaces for Singh and Mandy to run into. The Yellow Fever are enjoying this, the passing movement from Wellington with all of this space for them to play into. Party tricks coming out from Singh now. Now Rufer urged to shoot straight at Moss. Well, a year ago, these two teams weren't exactly in opposite positions, but they had very different fortunes. A year ago, the Newcastle Jets were on the charge towards a top 2 finish and an eventual home final. Wellington were just trying to avoid the wooden spoon. Fast forward 12 months and it's a Wellington Phoenix side that have got some real momentum. 15 goals now in their last 3 matches. And looking for more. Singh wants it, Burgess shoots. Well, Sarpreet Singh was asking for that ball for about a minute. He looks ruefully at Max Burgess.
I think if you're Mark Rudan, it's that stat, that 15 goals in 3 games. Yes, that number's exacerbated by the 8 goals they scored against Central Coast, but still they're scoring freely at the moment. And so that takes a whole lot of pressure off the defensive unit. So they know that if they play well, if they keep a tight structure at the back, then they're more than likely going to score goals. And that is what makes them such a dangerous side as well. So Champness coming in off the back stick, but can't direct his shot on goal. And I think looking ahead to the playoffs, it makes them a side that no other team will want to play.
Picked up on a tweet during the week from Fox football producer Murray Shaw, who pointed out that before the weekend we were approaching the point where we could bring up 5,000 A-League goals. I can tell you that with the 5 tonight, we're now up to 4,995. So it seems almost inevitable that the 5,000 mark will be crossed this weekend. Probably not in this game, unless it's a rather astonishing last 12 minutes. maybe the next one, or maybe even out west in our blockbuster tonight when Perth host Melbourne Victory. Ugarkovic. Now Petranos, who's trying to stay involved as he has been all night. Jackson. Lowry deals with the latest cross into the area. Clever little pass by Singh. Mandy. Is Burgess onside? He is, you know. Max Burgess goes round the keeper. Is this 5? Well, it won't be just yet. That's really good defending from Ugarkovic. As Max Burgess rounded Glenn Moss, it looked as though he might be able to tap it into an empty net, but the retreating Ugarkovic denied him. They'll have another go now.
Newcastle now just trying to play miracle balls.
Here's Sarpreet Singh looking for a double! Just wide from Sarpreet Singh. Well, Newcastle haven't conceded 4 goals this season in one game. Well, they hadn't before tonight. They've been defensively pretty sound for most of the last 2 seasons, but Glenn Moss's face tells it all as he turns around to see those behind him very quickly disrobing.
Yeah, Singh opens up. Ball takes a deflection on the way through off Jackson.
Balmy old night in Wellington. Some happy yellow fever up there. Wanting some more. Williams looking for a 4th as he tried to get on the end of a flick on from Durante. Lowry was there or thereabouts as well.
Yeah, Mandy with the delivery, ball dipping down. Durante gets the flick at the near post. And one of those balls that's just sitting there in the inside the 6-yard box. It's just a matter of where does it drop. And this time Jackson reacts quickly. Head of Lowry. And just gets collected for his efforts.
We're going to see Killian Sheridan introduced now. And it's Max Burgess, another really, really good shift from Max Burgess tonight. For the 3rd time in a row, he's started from the first whistle and has been really, really good. A warm embrace from Mark Rudan. And Killian Sheridan's going to get the chance to play the last 8.5+ stoppages here. No doubt searching for that elusive first A-League goal.
See the bruise there on beside the eye of Lachlan Jackson. It's one of those eggs that's just growing and growing. Interesting to see how big that gets before the end of the game.
Next up for Wellington Phoenix is a trip to Adelaide United next Sunday. The Jets will host the Western Sydney Wanderers next Saturday at McDonald Jones. Crowd numbers just been flashed up. It's just a tick over 9,000 here tonight. Another good healthy crowd in Wellington. Is there another goal in this game? Killian Sheridan wants to try and create one. Good last-ditch defending there by Lachlan Jackson. Williams hairs across and makes it difficult for Katrumbas.
Speaks volumes, that defensive effort from David Williams there. Yeah, you've scored a hat-trick, but he's still running hard, just putting the Newcastle defence under pressure. That's something that the rest of the team really feed off. Into the 83rd, 84th minute, and he's still working as hard as he did at the start. Just a really good work ethic right throughout this Phoenix side this season.
I couldn't possibly comment on this, you and Harry might be able to, but maybe you get a bit of adrenaline when you've got a hat-trick and you do run a bit harder. Did that used to happen to you, Fred?
You'll have to ask Harry that. He was the one who was always banging four in.
He got four in one game, didn't he? Geez, you wouldn't have been able to stop him. Here come the Jets again. O'Donovan calls for handball, not given. Curto smothers the attempted cross from Roy O'Donovan. Lowry stride for stride with the Irishman.
I think it's not the fact that he's scored a hat-trick tonight, fellas, but the fact that the team have, I suppose, weathered that storm in the first half from Newcastle, because Newcastle, if we're honest, did really have the upper hand. The Phoenix were able to get that early goal with David Williams, but they looked like a pretty dejected side, didn't they, when that third goal went in, Newcastle, and it was all, I mean, we've seen how well the Phoenix do finish games, and when they are clinical, when they are on song, they take their chances. And I think you're right, Mark Rudan was applauding David Williams a few minutes ago when he made that defensive run on the right-hand side.
Now the shot comes in, and Curto wasn't sure. He had to go as Katrumbas let fly. Gee, he put his foot through that, Johnny Katrumbas. And I'm not sure Curto was sure that this was going wide. Well, from that angle, perhaps he was, but a touch off a defender by the looks of it, so a corner for the Jets. Sheridan helping out at the back. There's Williams again, tracking back and winning possession for his side. They really are enjoying themselves now, Wellington. That might be a bit big, though, for Sarpreet Singh to haul in.
Can't believe how often in second phase set play, like from corners or the ball goes out into the open field of play, that the Phoenix have been the team that pick up that ball every single time.
There's Ugarkovic across the 6-yard box. Nobody gambled from the Jets. Jair was there, O'Donovan too, and Shepherd. Stevie Ugarkovic still looking to create things deep into this one. Roofer still working hard in Wellington's engine room. Elliott with a chance to stretch the legs. Skips away from a couple of would-be tacklers. That'll help the confidence of Callan Elliott. Here's Williams. Libby Kakachi. He's earned his side a corner off Katrumbas. Well, it's been slim pickings recently for Wellington Phoenix and their fans. And they say that you ride the roller coaster with your team. They haven't enjoyed the troughs very much, but gee, I think they're probably entitled, the Yellow Fever, to enjoy the peaks that this side has taken them on this season. Looking to ice the cake now. Not quite the purchase on that one from Libby Kakachi. So with this win, Wellington will go to 37 points. 4 behind Melbourne Victory, who play later tonight against Perth. They'll be 4 points ahead of Melbourne City, who play next against Western Sydney. And now 6 clear of Adelaide United, who tomorrow visit Gosford to take on the Mariners. Crucially, though, they will be 11 clear of the 7th placed Newcastle Jets. Here's Singh. Sheridan bringing Mandy into an attacking position. Mandy with the shot straight at Moss.
The Phoenix will make another change, fellas. Benjamin Wayne will come on for hat-trick hero David Williams.
Yeah, well, Mark Rudan's not one for sentiment normally, but I think he's going to give David Williams the chance to get an ovation of his own. And it'll be an A-League debut for Ben Wayne, an academy product. Top scorer for the Phoenix Academy side in the recent National League campaign. And it looks as though he's going to get a couple of A-League minutes as well. A handshake from the referee, and no doubt a wonderful ovation from the crowd after this hat-trick, Fred.
It started very early for David Williams, 33 seconds, and boy, it finished with an absolute cracker. That'll probably be one of the goals of the season, you'd expect, from David Williams. And the crowd right around the stadium on their feet for the performance that he's put in this evening.
High fives and smiles all around on the Phoenix bench, and why not? Well, there's a bit of work to do even this weekend to get goal of the weekend after Sim de Jong's effort last night. I think David Williams goes into that particular conversation as well after tonight's effort, but yeah, I like the way that Sim de Jong put that one home last night, Freddie.
Completely contrasting goals. One just pure guile, and the other one pure power. Terrific goal. If you get the opportunity, have a look at Sim de Jong. Completely befuddles Jamie Young in goal, in the Brisbane goal, with just almost a sleight of hand.
Now here's Ben Wayne off, searching for a first A-League touch. It was a fair challenge from the defender, says the referee. Nothing doing there. I think it was Lachlan Jackson who came across to stymie Ben Wayne's progress. The exuberance of youth. David Williams just fixing up his hair for the post-match interview. We're into a minimum of 4 added minutes here in Wellington. It'll be a 6th win in 7 games here at Westpac Stadium for Wellington too. They've really started to make this place a bit of a fortress again. Singh trying to milk a foul there off Cowburn, not given. Mandy now sets Wayne away again. He remains onside. Topo Stanley's got all that experience and uses it to flick the ball back to Moss, who slips as he gets it clear. Now Sarpreet Singh has remained onside here. Sheridan's in the area, so is Ben Wayne. Ben Wayne! And Moss with the punch away. And a foul by Ben Wayne on Glenn Moss, says referee Matt Conger. Brave goalkeeping from Glenn Moss. Ben Wayne immediately in just to make sure that Moss is okay.
Yeah, lovely ball from Sarpreet Singh. Ben Wayne goes in, Glenn Moss with the punch, and then collects a knee in the back of the head.
You can never question the bravery of Glenn Moss. He's still very popular here in Wellington after the service he gave to the Wellington Phoenix during his time here. He'll be wanting this game to end, though, no doubt. Just to mention, actually, about the youngsters in this team and the matchday squad today of 16 players. 5 of them are Kiwis under the age of 21. So you talk about developing talent and whether the Phoenix have a role to play there. And you look at guys like Libby Kakachi, Sarpreet Singh, Ben Wayne, Callan Elliott, Gianni Stensonis. 5 guys there, under 21, all coming through the Phoenix Academy, all getting A-League minutes from an Australian coach.
Yeah, Mark Rudan certainly giving them a taste of A-League action.
Is there a final cherry on top here? Mandy bursting through. Elliott picks it up. Step overs from Callan Elliott. Behind he goes for a corner. There may be time, is there, for this? Quick check of the watch from Matt Conga. He's decided there'll be one more act in this play. Mandy takes. Moss climbs high, doesn't gather, and the referee has seen a flag on this near side. It won't count. Assistant referee's flag is up for offside. The Wellington Phoenix can reach out and touch finals football. They are now all but mathematically secure in the A-League's top 6. A David Williams hat-trick, the highlight of a memorable night. A goal for Singh as well. The crowd are certainly singing. The Wellington Phoenix 4, Newcastle Jets 1.